Start whenever.
Yo, 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 week 2. Here we go. Bodybuilding 101. 102?
Hello.
101. Okay, so this is week... Yeah, seriously. All right, so this is week 2. We're going to just kind of briefly talk about where we're at now. Week 2, meaning like week 2 of filming, but I think we're like 11 weeks out now, to tell you the truth.
Or was that finishing 11?
No, this today, right now, 11 weeks until the competition.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I got down to 253 this week, starting to finally see some lands, some changes a little bit, something to get me a little bit more excited about. I think the roughest part for a while was dieting for so long and not really like seeing any kind of improvements. And so lately that I have been seeing a little something's kind of giving me like another little like life and push in this situation.
Yeah, same thing for me. I got down to 235, but it seems that I go down and then the next morning I'm like up half a pound, and then I'll go down like a pound, and then I'll go up half a pound. So like every other time that I check the scale, I've gone up, and I'm just like, okay, I'm fat as hell. Yeah. I don't care anymore. I give up.
It's so hard.
Might as well just be eating
bro.
what I ate before.
Like you go through this, like I'm excited, I'm starting this for the first like, I don't know, I'll give it like 2 weeks. And then you might have like a slip up here or like slip up there, eat 20 more carbs this day, or like do something like that to where you're like, God, I'm not going anywhere, doing anything. But if you just keep rolling until you get to a point where you start peaking these like some results, it gets easier to kind of say no on some of it, like a lot of things. Today? Not yet. I'm going to though.
Okay, do cardio today.
Yeah, I'm trying to do cardio at least 5 days a week. It's been helping drive my body fat down. I've been kind of slower, like I've been like, it's like a slow burn for me. I've been like going down slowly, but I can really tell my body fat how that's like coming down, which is obviously the most important. Yeah, cardio is just like I got to do it like 5 or 6 days a week, more and more and more and more and more and more. But other than that, been addicted to these little like cheeseburgers I make macro wise from these little low carb wraps, and this 93.7 lean ground beef. I've been like smashing those because it's so easy to stay on my macros. Man, it's so weird if you just hit numbers consistently, like how the weight just progressively goes down. It just
adds up.
It's just nuts with how that really works. It's like literally numbers in, numbers out. Mm-hmm. That's what's so surprising to me is like seeing that and being consistent with kind of around the same numbers, because I haven't been perfect as far as like 60 grams of fat, 150 carb. Perfect. I've been like 66 like fat, and then maybe 58 fat, and protein. 62 and this and that. But I've been consistent with like the averaging around those numbers for like enough now to where like I'm progressively like losing weight, you know? So I'm happy about that. I'm happy as hell with my progress and where I've been. I mean, it's been 2 months and I basically lost like 25 pounds, which isn't so bad. You know what I'm saying? It's a good 25 pounds to me. So I'm just looking forward to trying to keep going and get to the 240s. That's the next thing. I'm 253. As soon as I see 249.
I'm not going to feel good until I see 229. But that's just when I'm going to go, okay. I'm not going to feel great until I see 19. 19 for me is going to be like, oh, this is it. Yeah. It's happening.
See, your 19 is my 244. When I know I'm allowed to be like, I have to weigh 245 to even be like to step on stage. So that's when I see 245, I'm going to be like, oh my God.
I just don't feel good at all right now.
You'll get there. Like I said, it's so weird with how Austin goes from, he's like 240 and then what he looks like when he gets to 220. That 20 pounds for you is like unreal. Mm-hmm. It seems like my 20 pounds, like you're going to be like, oh, it's going to take you a while to get there because it's slow. But like you, for some reason, it's like 20 pounds like totally changes your physique.
I mean, I've only lost 8 pounds. I can sort of see it, but 100%. Still not. I'm still carrying around sandbags.
But say if you're 35, then that means you need to get down to like, yeah, you need to get down to 19 for you to start to be like, okay, I'm like, rolling. Because then when you get down to like 210 is when you're really leaned out.
210 is like perfect.
Yeah.
10 and below is perfect until you hit 200. So then it's crazy. Too low.
That's so light.
I think 200 is too low.
That's so light. I wonder if I could ever even get to under 220.
Nah, it's not worth it for you. When I
would sacrifice a lot of tissue.
193 last year, we talked about it a couple of times. I think that I lost too much weight.
Yeah, I just think that you just sacrificed too much tissue in the very last like 2 weeks, because there was a picture you took. I
definitely started losing muscle.
Yeah, because there was a picture you took like a week out, 10 days out or something, that you were still holding on to hardness, and then the competition came and you kind of like drained too much, and you I think looked puffier in the morning when you competed versus towards the end of the day. day. So I think you needed to maybe change something that you were doing during the day that day to keep like your glycogen levels up, to like hold some water in there, to like
Just
stay a little
Rice
puffy.
Krispie treats all day long.
Something like that, you know. I mean, they do the sugar stuff before to get vascular, but people are still eating like rice cakes and white rice and, you know, the carbs
The
to
rice
like get
cakes
loaded.
thing I didn't think was the thing, but it,
Apparently fucking it is. Jesus. Rice cakes and diced.
well, because when I look at the numbers, I'm like, really? But I guess that it's the right stuff.
Because there's no fat and it's just carb. So I guess that is the way to go. I'm gonna have a fucking fistful of rice cakes on my day.
What's the difference in the oatmeal cakes?
What do you mean?
Are they oatmeal cakes? The oat with the oat guy on it?
I don't know.
What's the oatmeal guy?
I don't know. Maybe.
Quaker.
Maybe they have too much fat
The
in it.
Quaker
There's
cakes, are those rice cakes or are they oatmeal? Those like Quaker.
No, those are
Let's talk into the mic.
Hi, I'm new here.
Hello.
They're rice cakes, bro. Not oatmeal cakes.
But it has the Quaker on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a fucking grain guy.
I'll double check.
Yeah.
All right.
Plantation owner. Quaker.
That's what it is.
I can't believe that guy hasn't been taken down yet. They're taking down all these fucking other people. Like the Quaker guy's still up there.
Well, no, it's not
fucking,
a plantation. Quakers were actually different.
What is it? A fucking Boston Tea Party?
They look, yeah, kind of.
Okay, then.
They look like
Red
it, but
fucking
they're not
massacre
that.
or whatever it's called. Jesus.
Whatever.
Okay, rambling on. So anyway, week 2, both down weight, which is good, and just cranking away in the weight room. I'm lifting like 7 days a week because I'm doing like a little bit every day. And I just can't sit still on the weekends.
Is there anybody you're watching at all that you're like?
Serge Nabray, my boy, the Black Panther. That's just my dog.
Why?
I just think he's so aesthetic. I think that I for some reason liked how his legs aren't so over dominant compared to his whole body. I think that they're just like tight and lean, and they hold just enough muscle to support his upper body. So I just like how aesthetic he is, but it just sucks because he doesn't have like too much stuff out there. He's like a French guy, so he has some books and things like that, but a lot of the stuff that I've seen is just like or clips of rather, anything online is just like hard to come by. But I do a lot of the 70s and 80s things. I just like that style of look. I just like how
There's nobody right now that you're looking up videos of at all?
I mean, I just look up all the old school videos of training. Okay, so the Craig Munson guy, this huge like Compton guy out in Muscle Beach in the like late 70s and early 80s. I think he competed once or twice. I don't know if he was ever a professional or not yet, or if he was a professional or not, but he was an absolute monster. But I love all the 80s videos from like the Gold's Gyms that you can pick up on the Gold's Gyms. So I watch all those and see what kind of like things that those guys were doing a bunch. But not a lot of people nowadays, you know, I think there's just so much supplementation and so many isolations and all kinds of things that people do nowadays that I'm sure it works. And I'm sure it goes a long way because obviously it's proven with people like Chris Bumstead that looks absolutely perfect.
But I think his legs are too small, even though he's
I know he's perfect. But I just still think the guys. I just still could list off guys from, you know, the 75 to 85.
He looks perfect though.
Yeah, I know. He definitely does. But genetic wise, he also has a lot.
Picture comparison of him next to the old Arnold, and I thought his legs looked small. Bumstead.
Really?
When you compare the two of them. But his upper body just looks fucking
That Logan Franklin guy's pretty jacked too. That Logan Franklin guy's pretty jacked too. Some of the new guys are okay, but but they lift those guys lift a lot of old school. You know? You don't see them sitting sideways on hammer strength machines and totally isolating the muscles.
Or going...
Yeah, or people standing on top of the shoulder press doing shrugs on a machine. I'm like, that's what's gonna get it there. Like you couldn't get that any other way. Like what's targeting it so much is standing on a shoulder press machine doing shrugs. You know, it's just too much for me to do all that kind of shit when you can just do it like so many other ways. I think people hold themselves in this like one road to get to the destination when there's like 1,000 different roads to the destination that you're able to take when it comes to this fitness shit. You know what I mean? You have to be genetically blessed and you have to work out for a long fucking time.
A long time.
And you just have to be consistent.
You have to eat way more than you think you do. But
I just think a lot goes into it when it comes to that. Shit. Who have you been looking up?
Well, I used to watch that little Johnny Skywalker guy all the time. I forgot his actual name. He's just shredded. Diced. But he's little, but he's just shredded.
You ever watch the neck tattoo kid? He doesn't compete, but he's shredded as fuck. Chris Huerta.
Maybe. And then after him, I got into the Von Mager for a couple years, but then he busted and broke himself
up. He was like a fucking Jonah Hill. You didn't fucking know how big he was going to be. Every time you see him, you're like, Jesus, bro.
And then he hasn't really competed that much or really done that much, but he's still fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's still definitely huge. In shape. I just think that the supplementation and drugs are just pushed way too hard nowadays.
Well, I mean, he went from 210
it doesn't bother me that people take drugs. I just think that the over and the abuse of drugs is just not necessary to gain that much that fast. And I just don't think that's necessary. You know what I mean? You got to eat to grow the right way. And you got to grow, by eating enough food. And then from there, tailor yourself down. Don't just take a whole bunch of drugs at first and blow out all kind of crazy ways and, lose everything as soon as you're done. And, I just don't like that kind of look. I don't like that aspect of part of it. I'm more about, I'm going to be in here 7 days a week, regardless, for a long ass time. And I'm just going to continue to tailor my body the way I want it to look, So that's why I'm just so head set on the guys in the 75 to 85, early 90s. Then it starts to love it, respect it, watch it all the time, but just not for me when it comes to that. The hugeness, the Colemans, the Cutlers, even Dorian, his last couple of years were just unreal.
Too big.
Yeah. Too big. So I'm not that. Look, I love it, and I would be in there lifting weights with all those fuckers.
That's what I mean. I like the energy.
Fucking love it, but I just don't ever want to be like that.
I don't want to be that big.
No, I want to be big, tall, and shredded, and be 240 pounds and run a 9-minute mile.
I look good on the beach.
Yeah, and I want to run a 9-minute mile, and I don't want to be some big fucking schlop.
That's why I
don't want my cardio to be I just do the Stairmaster. You know what I'm saying? I want to run and be athletic. I don't want to be some big fucking
Larry Scott so much because he has that classic just beach body, and his arms are just fucking.
Frank Zane is the ultimate.
Oh well, Frank Zane, yes, but he's this big.
I don't give a fuck. Daiso.
But he never looked big anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. He was definitely that one vacuum pose in 82 or 83.
He's the Skywalker guy, I guess.
That just shit is shredded. He crushes it then. But Surge, Lou Ferrigno, Arnold. Then you have some of the other guys that don't really get overlooked, like Ken Waller, Mike Katz, Dave Draper. They kind of just get looked at as some of the golden era guys, but those guys were all over 6 foot. Some of those guys were all over. Mike Katz was 6'2". He was kind of weirdly shaped, but
how tall is Larry Platts?
Tom Platts?
Which one am I talking about? Who's Larry?
Midget.
Oh, it's Larry.
Larry Scott.
Tom
Platts is a midget, but
he's a midget.
Yeah. I think he's under 6 foot. Yeah, anybody that's 5'10" and under, midget when it's bodybuilding, because you just look like a big block. For me, 5'10" under, midget.
Well, when you get too big.
Yeah, and then the guys that are 5'6", they're 220, bro.
They can look shredded pretty quick.
Definitely. It's respect too. It's respect. But yeah, so I don't know, the guys in the 70s, 80s, early 90s is it for me. But now I'm just looking forward to this week 3. Getting down to week 10. I think it's gonna start getting scary when I get to week 8. What the fuck? So that's in 3 weeks. So it's really, really gotta pour in. Why do you say
scary?
Just scary in the sense of this is 8 weeks away. You better be ready a month out. A month out, you better look yo, I'm gonna be posing the right way. I'm gonna be doing this and that. So that's something that I definitely need to get on.
Well, posing is something I need to.
Yeah, posing. We need to start to do almost we need to have a weekly posing night where we know every day we come over and we pose at this night or this underneath that light, and we do a full routine of critiquing each other.
I wish that little light was brighter.
I know, but still, that's a good little area to look and see yourself and have someone critique you. That's something we definitely need to do. Maybe we can put it up there too on some filming in case anybody sees this and wants to correct us as well, because obviously we don't know what we're doing. Yeah.
I'm terrible. Okay, we can try.
And then I watch guys and I'm just I hate you. Real guys. Remember we went to Britney's competition back in the day and that Darren Charles guy posed and fucking crushed it?
He did it to the song so perfectly.
Bro, he murdered that
Every
thing.
beat of the song was a pump or a movement.
Crushing it. All right. So week 3, next week we'll give you updates. Try to get a little posing thing down in there. Try to get some training videos too up this time. Let's try to get some training videos to show some of the things we've been doing, because we've been kind of doing some different little things training wise. So that's it. Over and out. Stay tuned for week 3. 240s, here I come. 220s, here Austin comes. Let's go, baby.
220s. Okay.